Here we go. And it's time for another sprint zone. This one's for 8-8. And looking rearward, we see JC, Scott, and Isla bringing up the rear, trying to avoid all of the potholes up here. Heavy sigh as I look at the camera and I see dirt on the lens, which is quite annoying right now, but it is what it is. Kind of looking at the group in front of us, looks reasonably good pace line. I would like to see it 2x2. Some of this drifting into the middle here when you're not directly behind the guy in front of you. No, you should be just like back off a bike length if you want to have more space. None of this here wiggy waggy stuff kind of looks like crap. But we are coming into the beginning of the sprint zone, and so this could be part of what people are doing to get themselves positioned, and maybe we'll give them that excuse, but that's really not what's happening here. They're just kind of sloppy. Looking rearward, we see Josh Sturgeon hasn't been around for a while. Mr. Lawyer there, fresh after serving up 3,500 hot dogs at an event, and it's game on. Looking forward here, there's a little bit of lethargy. We got Strongman Ben there. We got Michael, looks like Rick Lutz there. Roby slumming from the TTH today as we go to the front, where I believe Ilka is driving the pace, which is surprising. But she is throwing down some serious watts. Looking at what I'm doing just to have to match her, I'm into the 330s, 340s now. Look at that. And you can see that my 30-second power is creeping up quite high. In fact, I think I even saw like 400 watts in there. So now we're doing like 380. There's 420. And Ilka is on the front driving it hard. And my 30-second power is like 315. So you know Ilka is on fire today looking to make things happen. So I'd also like to thank Scott for his camera. And we've got his stuff in the upper right thing along with his telemetry, etc. Looking rearward, we got new rider Fabio. Not certain where he's coming from, but hey, glad you found the ride. You're a strong rider. Looking good. Up front, closer to the point end of the stick, Marcelo has taken over, and he is looking pretty strong. My wattage has dropped now that I'm sitting in, but still sitting in at over 200 watts. This is not an easy start to this event. Looking at Scott's camera, he's kind of sitting on the wheel of Roby, bringing people back in slowly, but his wattage wasn't too low when he was trying to bring people back as it was to be expected. Looks like Fabio back there looking good. We see Greg, and it looks like I am getting close to coming to the front there. Yeah, taking over for Marcelo and Ilka, and the pack comes through. Wattage looking good, 200, 250 or so, making certain that people are kept honest as we start to string things out here. And I'm loving this. And I'm loving the view from like Scott's camera. Thanks again. Looking at what's going on back there. People are just pretty much taking it easy. Scott's doing 160 watts, 180, look, just coasting, nothing much happening. And it looks like it's reasonably organized, but he is back there taking it easy, waiting his turn. And this is what a lot of the strongmen like to do. They like to rest for a while because they want to make a play for the end. That is not my goal here. And as you can see, I'm at 250, 280, 300 watts, doing 25 mile per hour, keeping things strung out. And yes, my legs are feeling pretty good today. Not looking for any help here, but I'm wondering where everybody is. And there's definitely like lethargy and apathy here. It's like people are just sitting back because it can't be that hard, but they just want to kind of rest. Kind of sloppy a little bit, but it is kind of like pack dynamics. If I were way back where Scott was, I'd be a little concerned if there were strong men up front. Good view of Fabio looking good. Looks like Greg coming out there, showing his nose into the wind for the second or third time. Fabio comes by and he's like really polite. He's like, "Can I take over?" I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." I get a little bit of respite here. And unfortunately, I get pushed back too far. I should have like made more of an effort to try to stay a little bit closer, but um actually in this case, no, it looks like I'm actually okay here. But it seems like at some point in here I got shoved back and it's not good. Anyway, Marcelo looking strong. Mark from the Fort Collins Club, a good position this time. And everybody else back there. Ilka looking strong out there in the wind. I don't know what's gotten in her bonnet, but she, for some reason, perhaps after that strong showing last time, besting Anna at one of these, she is looking to cement her dominance. And here we go. The attack by Ben. Ben, a little fed up, obviously, with the bunching up back there and no one wanting to do anything. And he wants to hot things up, to string things up, to make things a little safer. And this is where I get pushed back. I'm like, ugh, that's okay. Scott's camera's up there showing it looks like Justin looking strong, Roby there, and I really want to be up a little higher here. Ilka's starting to fall back a little bit, but she's riding like super strong here. And we will look to see her in the future here. Here I am still a little too far back, but I'm doing okay. 280, 300 watts as weaker riders are beginning to fall back here. And it looks like there's a little bit of separation. And you can see in Scott's camera, yes, there is separation. And I don't know, Scott's like, I saw some coasting up there, like nobody taking over, like WWW, what the heck? Like someone should have come around and tried to bridge that gap. I don't know what's going on here. But looks like Mr. Sturgeon getting shelled back there. Now Scott looks like he's taking up the mantle again, trying to chase. But I'm surprised that Danny, or maybe not so surprised. So here's my chance to come up here. I'm too far back, and we can't let these guys get them on the rise. So here I am, 500 watts, and boom. I get kind of slowed up right here because I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, able to keep some momentum, but they're just out of range here. It's like, ugh, having to go around all these people. And we're just not able to make the bridge there to the gap. And the selection has been made. Mr. Lawyer coming off the front there and looking to see what kind of damage we have in the rear. And not much, everybody's there. Fabio's there. And Curtis for the first time showing his head there. Marcelo just hanging on. And lots of other people back there. So now it's time to go, it looks like. This is interesting. Like, Scott is obviously pulling off, or maybe not so obvious, but Danny follows, and head must have been down. I would have like just gone straight there because I could have seen when anybody makes a move like that swings that far out, they're not going around the rider, and that cost us a little bit. John still trying to do well, and here's where Dean thinks he's helping us out. I'm like, dude, where are you going? Had you brought some help with you, you could have done something. But you're like, I'm a badass now. No, you are not. You're a punk because basically you screwed the rest of us. You are not strong enough on your own to go out there. You got Green Lantern, Aquaman, and the Flash up there, and all you've got is a utility belt. That is correct, and you will be brought back. There is wisdom and unity here as the rest of us hold the line here to try to bring back this recalcitrant Dean. Sad, 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 and he is already brought back into the fold. Total waste of energy. What can I say? Now, Curtis going to the front to help drive this initiative as we can see the leaders up there, and they are not too far up the road as we are working well together. Looks like Jeremy, looks like Mike's son, looking strong. Look at the cadence of the two relatives there. That's a pretty thing to see, and it's nice to see when the young bucks come out to play, especially with such strength, savvy, and skill. Greg looking good. Scott kind of sitting in, riding coattails, looking at his power. It's putting a good power. And here, Scott, another recalcitrant, not going to help us, but going with hubris to go to the front to see if he can bridge alone. Had he looked back a little bit, the rest of us would have been able to assist. But strong men such as myself, Danny, Scott, Mr. Lawyer, and even Dean, who've been brought back, have been distanced by this little stunt here. It doesn't look like much, but he was not looking for help at this time. And I believe, and we had a conversation about this, that he didn't think we were strong enough to help him, that we were not feeling good enough on this day to help him. And he's throwing out good watts. Look at this, 400 watts, and his 30-second power is over 430 watts. That's good wattage. But look, we're not that far behind. Ilka up at the front, even helping Fabio. And here is Curtis going to bring him back. That is absolutely right. And this should be a learning experience because those guys are not that far up the road. But hey, it is a sprint zone. You can do whatever you want. I just think, there could have been a little more communication saying, hey guys, let's go bring them back. Besides going all cowboy and everything. That is absolutely right. and he is about to be brought back. Even though his 30-second power is like 230 watts, he cannot match the might of the rest of us. There were strong men, in his league back here. And had he been back here to help us, we'd probably be another 50 yards up the road. Or he'd at least be able to battle for contention here with the rest of us. But he's blowing himself up. I got 2 words. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Ilka coming by on the gravel bike. There's some team playing. And the rest have been shelled there. And a lot of that is from the effort that Curtis put in. This is impressive showing by Ilka on the gravel bike. Very impressive. And I'm hanging in there right behind Curtis. I could have probably sprinted around him, but like, what's the point? It's teamwork at this point, and I got to go to work out. Anyway, a good time was had by all. Some lack of coordination there. I think getting the stronger men organized, as Curtis was very vocal. It's like, hey, let's work together. Let's do this and that. The folks that couldn't work together, should have been at the back. I was more than willing to work. Ilka was more than willing to work. Fabio willing to work. Um, it was good. I enjoyed this one. Oh, congrats to Ben for that one. Shout out to Ben if you're still in the hospital. Maybe you'll get a chance to view this. Hope you get better soon. And also shout out to JC. Also some issues. Hope both of you are back soon. And peace out, everybody. Have a nice day. A good time was indeed had by all.